The briefcase is tough because, like, Money in the Bank to me, there's some fun behind it and what's going to happen and who's going to cash it in. You have put up the short the other day about RVD and the Ziggler cashing after Mania. Those are fun. Those are big ones. Then you have the Theory one from a couple years ago, which is just, believe me, that will be addressed in next week's content here on the WrestlingMatchShow.com about some of the worst cash-ins of all time. And I thought that right there, in fact, not Theory's fault, just how he was booked. I thought the Theory one really hurt the gimmick of the prestige of Money in the Bank. Punk doing it twice, once as a baby face. When Punk did it the first time, he wasn't there yet, right? And then Batista destroys Edge, and because he knew, all right, we're on different shows now, I can't win the world title. So Punk runs out, and the place goes nuts, and Punk's a mid-card guy at the time. Cashes in, he beats Edge, place goes nuts. Beats JBL later in the night. Okay, we're on an upward trajectory. Didn't stay that way. And then when he wins it again, he cashes in on a downed, beat-up Jeff Hardy, a babyface Jeff Hardy. You cash in on a babyface, you're a heel no matter what. That's kind of the thing right now with the briefcase. If a babyface cashes in on a babyface, the guy or the girl who's got the briefcase, they're a heel. If you do it on a heel, it's fine. But if it's the same, you're asking for trouble. Unless you want that. Maybe you want that. Think of when Edge cashed in. Think how long he took to cash in at New Year's Revolution, and Vince was there, and it was on Cena. It was after. It was perfect. And then they had him lose 3 weeks later, which kind of killed his momentum, which he needed to pick back up again when he faced Foley at WrestleMania. It's not an easy thing to book, and I like the idea of it. Part of me wishes, and I get they like the unexpected nature of it, part of me wishes you did have to call your shot. And I'm not, like, at least a week in advance. Now, that can still be done out of nowhere and can be promoted accordingly, and the briefcase winner doesn't have to win. But you have the Corbin one or the Sandow one or the Braun one. The Braun one was a mess. Oof. What would a Jay cash-in look like to you guys? Currently, right now, as the poll continues, 67% of you think he's the favorite. Is there something more to Drew doing it and then Punk costing him? Because the only thing with Drew being in Money in the Bank to me is that it seems everybody's just going to be looking down the aisle. Every time he goes up that ladder, they're going to be looking down the aisle. Are the cameras set up there? Punk's got to run in from somewhere else if he's going to do it and knock that ladder over. I still think Punk's more of the heel, but Drew left him in a bloody heap, so what do I know? But how do you book it? J Love likes Andrade to win it. Okay, but that's got to go somewhere. That's the whole thing with the briefcase. You can have the moment, and then what's next? Nikki ASH wins, right? Great moment. People are happy. Then what? Then they booked her like shit. She was surviving wins. Liv cashed in on Ronda. It worked on the night, right? If you're going to beat an unstoppable opponent and Ronda had barely lost, that's a way to do it. Then they booked Liv poorly at SummerSlam, and then they had her kind of like go all hardcore and lose after the Extreme Rules match, and that's kind of what her gimmick became. I do like, as someone just mentioned in the chat, when you win the G1, which we talked about a little yesterday, the G1 is the round-robin tournament that is done for New Japan. There's 2 blocks, it could be 10, it could be 12, it could be 14, and you get points for winning matches, and then the block winners face off, and then you get a briefcase that is your title match at Wrestle Kingdom, their WrestleMania on January 4th. However, typically, you never go undefeated in the G1. So if you win the G1, whoever had beaten you along the way, 1 or 2 people, typically they get their shot at it. And if they beat you, then they take it. Doesn't happen, really. But, very much like when you win the Rumble. You don't really have anything to do till Mania. kind of wait around. You're in a holding pattern unless you haven't picked the opponent yet or whatever, and they got to find stuff for you to do. And sometimes that title shot, Rey Mysterio and Randy, that title shot was defended. That's what the G1 is. There's time. The G1's, August. The title shot doesn't happen until January. And New Japan goes into the tag league and stuff like that in December anyway. But for WWE, you have the full year. I like the idea, and a couple of you brought it up, that the clock is running out. Carmella went down to the wire when she had it. What if somebody got taken out who had the briefcase? Now, that's happened before, but they rode around it, Ken Kennedy won the briefcase at Mania. Got injured, got a bad diagnosis, whatever it was. Edge took it from him. Edge was the one that cashed that in. Otis having it, losing it to Miz. Miz cashing in on Drew. It can move around. Maybe that's where we're at this year. Is it getting rid of it quickly? Does Drew lose? Does Drew lose the briefcase to Punk? Is there that? They gotta be a little bit different about it, though. 58% of you think Jay is still the favorite to win Money in the Bank. Now, also, as we got into that, Chad Gable last night, he's out there at the beginning, and what happens? They go back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Sure, they're both in the match. They're just building up the match. And Wyatt introduction. So now that's 3 weeks in a row, Gable's dealing with the Wyatts. He's the only one. And look where he's looking around and he sees stuff and and then Nikki comes and he tries to escape and look, he's scared. And Nikki delivers another VHS tape. We will get to that. The New Day stuff, I love those guys. The New Day stuff with Karrion Cross is... I will tell you, there was... this is a little story, I guess. I was told that when Woods won King of the Ring, there was a discussion of turning him and Kofi heel. I don't know how far it went, but there was conversations about that. And I think Woods would be a tremendous heel. Once again, not breaking up the New Day. Just turning them to... Now, that was years ago. That's when Woods was King of the Ring. Didn't happen. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.